Hi Year 3! I hope you're having a lovely time at home. We really miss you at school and I can't wait to see you this week. I have done an art video for you. There is a little art task. If you've got paints, you can use paints. If you've got oil pastels or colouring pencils or felt tips, you can use those. Can't wait to see what art you produce and happy painting. We are going to look at Pointillism, which is an art movement, and we are going to look at the artist Paul Signac, and here is a picture of him. Now, Pointillism came after Impressionism. If you can think back to when we did our art attack topic, we looked at Van Gogh's Starry Night Sky, and that was Impressionism, which is where painting moved away from a realistic image and it started to go towards how the artist felt when they saw a landscape or a picture. And they started to use thicker brush strokes and create more movement in their work. Now, Pointillism is when the artists use really small dots to create a picture. So the viewer has to connect those dots and make the picture themselves. And it kind of creates patterns and textures and different shapes, and it gives a different impression of what the artist saw. Here is one of Paul Signac's paintings, and as you can see, if you look closely, it's full of lots of teeny tiny dots of paint. The trees aren't, when we go and look at trees, they aren't blue, are they? They've got brown bark. So this was obviously his impression of what he saw at the park. I feel like it was a bit of a windy day because some of the leaves look like they're blowing around in the wind, and the sun might have been shining maybe in the evening because the cornfield there looks lovely and bright. In this picture he used thicker dots, and you can barely see the detail there on the lady's face, and he used blue throughout the entire picture, which gives it a bit more of a cool tone. And all the dots here are the same size and they seem to be going in a similar direction. It looks like a lovely bright summer's day, and I can see some sunflowers down here. This is one of Mrs. Cussion's favourite ones. Instead of having all the dots going in the same direction here, you can see some of his brush strokes have gone up and around the clouds. So it kind of looks like the clouds are billowing out of the sky there. There's lovely pinks and oranges, so it looks like it's nearly sunset, or perhaps it is sunrise. And you can see here the sun and the sunset reflecting off the water down below. And it kind of creates a pattern with your eye. So we've got lots of texture in this painting, lots of pattern, and the shape of the cloud is where my eye is drawn to. If you have paints at home, you might want to pause this part of the video and see if you can do a small artist study, which means see if you can copy a section of this painting to have a go at the style. The water looks nice and calm along here because the brush strokes are very even and all in the same direction. In this one, the brushstrokes are less obvious and it's a more blended view, and he has definitely not used real colours. He has definitely used what his impression of the view was. There's a sea again, and there's lots of boats on this sea, and you can see silhouettes of beautiful buildings in the background. Your task today is to create your own painting or artwork on Pointillism. I have got a picture of Hengistbury Head here at sunset. You don't have to use my picture. You could use a picture of Hengistbury Head you have at home. You might not want to do Hengistbury Head. You might want to go out and do it by observation. You might not want to do it from a photograph. And a good idea would be to just sketch out the landscape first, very lightly with your pencil. If you don't have paints, you could use felt tips and do dots. You could use colouring crayons. You could use normal crayons. You could use ink. You could use pen if you've got different colour gel pen, or you can use paints if you've got paints. Maybe have a little practice and use some different sized paint brushes or different sized pens and see what you prefer. I love this picture because I feel like you could get some beautiful colours there in the cloud. And you could also create a pattern. So instead of just having all your dots going one way, they could go in swirls in the sky, or they could go in ripples to show the ripples in the water. You might not want to put the boats in your picture. Pause the video here if you want to use my photo, or feel free to go back through the video and pause if you want to have a go at copying one of Signac's paintings. I would love to see any of your work, so please email it into the office and they will forward it on to Mrs. Cashin and I will get to see. Good luck, Year 3. Happy painting. Please enjoy this. Spend an afternoon, a rainy afternoon inside having a go at this. I can't wait to see you soon and wishing you all the best.